Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're setting the stage for our last game of the day, a trial by fire for international wildcard Pain Gaming against Korea's KOO Tigers. Now, this will be a telling first test for both teams who we've yet to see on 5/18. So, gentlemen, what should we look for primarily when looking at this matchup and these teams?
Well, for me, with KOO, they were looking better. They had been in a little bit of a slump before entering the playoffs, and they had a very strong run. They brought back the Malphite pick, which is actually a pick that has never been used very extensively, competitively before, but was a very important part of their playoff run. And then we saw it kind of ripple out. And that's the story of the KOO Tigers. Are any of these guys kind of top-tier players? A couple of them are, Gorilla and Smeb, but the rest of the team is fairly average at this point, despite Prey being a legend in his own time. But it's been about, for them, innovation. The Juggernaut composition is something that they invented, and it just caught on like wildfire around the world. And we've seen this time and time again. So coming into this brand new world, this big new patch, what does KOO have? Because they've got something crazy.
Yeah, they could have something up their sleeves. But then again, when we look at them going up against the wild card team in their group, the team that they should most easily beat, do we even expect them, to come out and say, first game of Worlds, let's show our hand?
No.
Well, if you have crazy enough stuff, you can show as many things as you want, and nobody will be able to guess what you're actually plotting behind. But what I like about Pain coming into this matchup is that you mentioned it's very easy to identify the strengths of KOO. But Pain is also pretty good at identifying their own weaknesses and not playing against them. When they faced off in the finals, their CBLOL finals against INTZ, they clearly could not play the macro game against them. So what they did was they completely switched up their style. And we were just going to play lane, win game, and try to out-micro you by just better mechanics. And they did that, and they won 3-0. So they might try a similar style here in which, okay, we are not really in the same caliber as KOO Tigers in this regard, but maybe there's a little, I can't say, maybe there is a weakness in them that they can actually exploit. And that's what I want to see in them, because they have the mechanical talent to do so.
Now, something that KOO has been, I won't necessarily say criticized for, but something that has been attributed to them is long game time. However, coming into Worlds, the team with the longest average game time, Pain Gaming.
I think like long game times usually means low quality games with low quality teams in most cases. Like we saw the previous game, the longest game today, and it was pretty low quality if you think about it. But in this matchup, I think this low quality play that I'm talking about, I don't think it will fly against KOO Tigers, because to me, KOO Tigers is the most underrated Asian team coming into this tournament, because I'm expecting a lot from them. This is a dark horse.
Yeah, I am too, and it's all about that macro game. It's about their innovation. And the reality is this group is so weak that they may not even have to show anything until quarterfinals, and then perhaps they can take an upset win. I think they will eventually in this tournament be outplayed, basically. But a semifinal finish, I don't think is unreasonable.
All right, well, for the final time today, we're looking for your predictions. And again, we're going to go down the line, and I feel I know what's coming. We're going to go Crumbs, Yamato, then DeMonte.
It's going to be the most agreeable day.
It is. It's actually frustrating me that you guys have agreed on every single game so far today. I hope we switch it up tomorrow.
I'm sure we will, but for now, it's going to be the KOO Tigers for me. Unfortunately, I really want Pain to do well, but I cannot shake the fact that based on pure analysis, KOO Tigers are the better team here.
All right, jumping over to Yamato Ken and then back to Monty.
Pain Gaming will feel a lot of. I just baited you.
I was like, oh, okay.
KOO Tigers, of course. I think like this is over.
I agree.
Right.
Tigers are painful. It's KOO for me, too. It's going to be a mauling.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's hand it off to our caster team to get us into game. On the way, Hojin tells us what it's like to be at KOO's first World Championship.
근데 솔직히 이게 창단하고 제 생애 처음 이게 롤드컵이기도 하지만 이게 또 창단하고 처음 가는 그 롤드컵이라 되게 이렇게 잘 안 믿겨지기도 한데 엄청 자랑스럽고 되게 얼떨떨하고 그런 것 같아요.
Well, we'll have to see just how well KOO can do here, but let's not dilly-dally, get straight into the starting lineups. On the blue side to kick things off, it is Pain Gaming. In the top side, it is Mile on the jungle, Sir T. Mid is Kami, BRTT there in AD carry, and Dude on support.
And on the red side, it's the KOO Tigers. Up top is Smeb in the jungle, Hojin, mid Kuro, AD carry Prey, and support Gorilla.
Obviously, we remember Gorilla from previous Worlds performances. He's an incredibly proficient peel support player. He was arguably the best Janna at Worlds when he was playing it, and now with Braum in the meta, it's again another champion that he can play, that he can peel on, but he can also get a hint of aggression in there. And just in general, these champ selects are going to be incredibly interesting to follow because KOO Tigers, while they may not have the most mechanically gifted players in the rankings of World, obviously these guys are very good, they have incredibly deep champion pools. They can play so many different champions.
Yeah, the champion select for KOO Tigers is one of the most interesting parts because they have all these counter picks and because they do bring out the different styles with the Malphite comboed with Ashe and things like that. Smeb, though, definitely going to be a big power player for them up in the top lane.
Yeah, and Pain, respecting Kalista, even though she got nerfed to it, Kalista was the most banned champion, banned against KOO in their games over there in the LCK. She got banned out 24 times against the KOO Tigers, so Pain Gaming still respecting that. Don't want to go up against Praying Gorilla, you know, with a lot of these range supports that supplement that Kalista so well. Yasuo gets taken away immediately too, and then the KOO Tigers react. Rek'Sai, and you do not want to give Mordekaiser to Brazil. That's just something you don't do.
I mean, nobody's gotten Mordekaiser today. It's been banned every single game, I believe, but especially don't give it to the Brazilians. It's Gangplank and Lulu, very standard, going to clean us off because we're really fast through the bans here in this last chance select for the day.
So Darius and Fiora are both up here.
Elise and Lee Sin both open too. We actually have seen less Lee Sin.
Yeah.
We expected. I would have expected just the S tiers coming in, you know, Elise high and then matching that early aggression to Lee Sin, but we very often see tank responses, but finally.
If somebody's going to pick Lee Sin,
yeah.
His name used to be Lee, so there you go. Hojin, the team captain there for KOO, is going to lock that one in very quickly. We will have two very good early game jungling champions. We'll see if they actually use those early game champions to effect in the early game. As it was mentioned, both these teams, very long average game times.
I love what you can do as well with the Thresh Lee Sin combo. You can lantern in for lane ganks, you can come around with Lee Sin with flanks, you can even roam together and make such crazy picks. I mean, there's plays from, you know, kick flash to hook. There's so many possibilities for a team that, you know, is pretty controlled and has, in my opinion, good vision control. KOO Tigers can really use that to their advantage. Also, Lee Sin doesn't get punished for buying a Sightstone. I mean, it's fundamental to a lot of these ward hops, so double Sightstone vision control coming out from KOO. Really good against these slow teams like Pain Gaming, just to slowly dismantle them and take it away from them. They do pick up Darius, one of the stronger top laners.
Yeah, a bit more aggressive actually. Maybe not so slow here as Alistar is the second pick there for Pain. But like we've seen pretty much all tournament long today, jungle support, very common first two picks over on the red. So where do KOO want to go with the rest of their team comp?
Looks like when they want to keep Darius at arm's length there, just as Stake tried to do there in the Gnar-Darius matchup, and keep him slowed enough to try and kite.
Yeah, may have been underrating that Gnar pick. I thought amongst the wealth of top lane champions, Gnar kind of felt old, but he does bring a lot of kiting to the table, keep your distance, and then with the Black Cleaver you can whittle them down, re-engage. But it is tricky to play in team fights because you obviously come in with a lot less health because you can't build full tanks, so you really have to be careful. But if there's any top laner that can pull that off, you know, both the split push part and the teleport in, it will definitely be Smeb, one of the stronger top laners at this tournament.
Plus, I like how, you know, they combo with the initiation from the bottom lane here. Ashe Arrow is going to stun somebody, so he'll be there in time for the Gnar transformation.
This was probably the quickest draft we've had all game. We're still talking about like this Gnar that was early picked up, and
we're done.
Ari's locked in already, so very different team comes here coming out. KOO Tigers with a lot of engage, a lot of pick potential.
Yeah. Pain Gaming actually really heavy on that team fighting there, going with the Sivir to speed up their Juggernaut for Darius there, as well as Alistar going to toe the front line alongside him.
And Azifa Kami should be a nice pick there up against Kuro. We've talked about it here. We look at Pain Gaming. Kami, what a force as far as Brazilian players go. One of the best Brazilian mid laners. In fact, scratch that. Probably just one of the best Brazilian players.
Probably just the best Brazilian player here. Yeah. Not here at World, obviously. Damn it. Probably the best Brazilian player. Really popular there too. And I would have loved to see his TF. I really like seeing it. He has this style of just early upgraded boots into home guards and he starts roaming, because I think that's where maybe the opening was against Kuro, who is traditionally coming into this match. I would expect a laid back passive top laner, but then he locks in Ari instantly going for the aggression. So KOO Tigers with a very heavy pick composition coming out of here.
Yeah, we'll see if Kami can keep up the pressure on his ear, try and put pressure that turret and avoid the Elise ganks. You know, they do have both early game junglers there, or avoid the Elise ganks.
Azir should be able to push in that lane early, at least, but then he has to just dodge the ganks. That is the hard part. Charm and Cocoon incredibly potent crowd
Yeah,
control
it's a
combination.
drawback anytime you are the one trying to pressure the turret.
Well, we'll have to see when we get into the rift. But before we do, be sure to head over to Twitter and cast your votes for this game. Tweet the hashtag PNG win or hashtag KOO win to @Elevel Esports, and we'll update the fan poll once we're on the rift. And again, it's hard to think what to really expect from this game. I mean, Pain Gaming certainly coming in as more of an underdog here, and KOO, a team that
Definitely.
we're looking at good things, but maybe not great things. But both these teams have a chance to challenge that now on the rift for the last time today in Paris as we've kicked things off. Pain versus KOO Tigers.
And Pain Gaming, probably the strongest wildcard team we've ever had at Worlds, but still going up against KOO Tigers. That is still a very big mismatch, especially since Pain Gaming's biggest weakness, their game length, we've talked about it so much. It is 6 minutes and 30 seconds longer than KOO's average game length, and KOO Tigers are just, they ramp up towards that mid to late game. Maybe not with this composition, because it is relatively early to mid oriented with those picks.
Yeah, and delving a little bit more into the reasons why they have had these really long games. They've sort of struggled with initiation, both picking the champions and as well executing. Right now, though, we may have some early action as they look to collide.
Yeah, everything might be off here as we are going to get spotted by a ward. KOO Gorilla going to lead the charge. There's no vision though. Going to get aggressed on. Boomerang played out. He's forced to flash out. Mylon goes straight in though. Hojin and Smurf get knocked off by Alstar. Smurf's ignited. Here's dead for first blood. Mylon going to get flashed on. Play. Oh, he does get it. But the boomerang blades out. 2 for 1 there.
No respect for the Brush coming in there, face checking completely. Dude actually held the spell bars incredibly long. He could have cast out a lot earlier.
Yeah,
Very
I was actually
surprising.
very worried for Pain, even though Pain had the extra ward, so they had the vision advantage. Because they weren't all grouped together in that brush with the Alistar, face checking the Alistar is a #1 no-no for the level 1s, and yet he was out on the outside and used his flash to try and get in the middle and separate the KOO Tigers on the invade. Cutting them off is one of the biggest things. To deny auto-attack DPS is the most important thing in level 1s.
We have a lane swap here, stealing away the Krugs. Smeb has no clue. He's going into lane. This could be very big if they can force him off immediately, because Smeb expected everybody to base. Being down, no double jungling from the start of the game. This could put Pain behind or ahead in momentum, because Kami, as expected, is pushing in that mid lane.
Well, hard to set up for a lane swap when level 1 was as crazy as it was. You can see Pain are sticking together. Mylon and Sir T there. The 2v1 has been initiated, and Smeb, even with a bit of range.
Yeah, Mylon's double jungling with Surti right now, and Smeb, he's at the range. It's very hard to deny a Gnar because he can just bully out the support, especially if it's not a range support. But again, they're moving up immediately. This is Western-style lane swap. Very, very, very high tempo, and if you stay around level 1, you're just getting dull.
Yep, see, he's backing off already. Smeb knows that it is too dangerous for him, so he's going to leave. However, you talked about the double jungling. Smeb not going to be getting any experience income.
Yeah, now they can go for an early tower push and also bounce the wave. Once Mylon and Sir T are done clearing this jungle, then obviously they'll send Mylon to the top lane, bounce the wave if they follow the traditional Western-style lane swap, and suddenly Mylon will be spiraling ahead of Smeb on that Darius. Incredibly important matchup for the pace of this game.
And they're going to nick the red buff as well, though it should be a trade here with both teams jungling vertically. Kami, though, look how far forward he is standing to the strong side of his map.
It's because the map is obviously divided into 2 halves. This is what we expect CLG to do, but then they mind game, by doing that fancy shenanigans level 1. And this is Kami respecting it. Lean to the side where you are strong, avoid the side where you are weak. It sounds very simple, but people have failed that in the past.
Yeah, I've seen it many times. All right, so while KOO are going to be able to catch up, there are the camps available to them.
Yeah.
They're still behind in the time, so they are going to be much later to taking down the turret. We'll see if this translates at all into any sort of dragon pressure here. See what Pain can actually get accomplished in this early game.
Yeah, and aside from the first blood goal, things look relatively even, but something you really have to track at these lane swaps is experience gained and how efficient it has been gathered, especially on these top laners, because bot lanes, they can play from behind a lot easier, especially once those potions kick in. Look at Mylon, he's not going to do what Huni failed to do, he's actually going to try and take that tower, make the wave bounce back, and then obviously BRTT and the U, they're going to move back into bot lane with extra potions. They don't really care, as long as he'll never run into a prey with a BF sword, they don't really care that they're the first ones basing. Again, the tempo is now on Pain Gaming side.
Delicious solo gold for both top laners, I believe, as Smeb does take out the bottom side as well. Who are going to move Pain Gaming's duo back to the bottom lane, though.
Yeah, especially since they're running Sivir here for BRTT. He might be able to get that wave up to the turret and make it crash and get it bounced the other way, even though KOO were able to get it pushing towards them as they left it.
Smeb, he had to base, so he was very low on resources, wanted to pick up some items, wanted to pick up some sustain to avoid being dove, and he's still not getting any XP, so he only had some experience being grouped with his team. He's level 3 right now. Just gonna head over to my screen, distract that Mylon.
All right, even with
Really?
Silver,
Yeah.
not going to be able to push it quick enough here.
They're actually surprisingly even. Mylon is exactly on the same amount of experience as Smeb, so to see how well BRTT can deny Smeb in the bot lane, and vice versa, how well Prey can deny Mylon in that top lane.
Yeah.
Calculation there from Hojin on the Cutter Crab, but Dude does come down. Has been taken, so vision there for KOO over on the river area, but continuing to group together around these turrets and try and push things down.
So-
BRTT not wasting time.
Here's the thing that you look for in this instance. For Pain Gaming, they do have the numbers advantage. What you want to do is drop a deep ward from your jungler, so have your top laner teleport in. And here they come.
Prophet Kobe!
Oh, it's almost like he's good here. We are going to have a dive. Flash Cocoon is going to land. Smeb's going to get absolutely obliterated. BRTT going to clean up that kill as Hojin running for his jungle, hoping it is safe. And there might not be any follow-up, but that was well played.
And this is an incredibly big mistake from the KOO Tigers, sending your support to the top lane. It looks mirrored, it looks even, but you can't afford to do that because obviously you're playing as a top laner that can just peace out. He teleports to the bot lane, then again he gets the waves bound to him again, and he spirals ahead from Smeb. Smeb, the top lane carry from KOO Tigers, probably the best individual player on the roster, and he's slowly falling behind.
Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed actually in KOO Tigers. They saw him walk over the Scuttle Crab. If you say, oh, the support is in my jungle, oh, the enemy jungle is also there, that's enough to account for everybody. You know they have teleport.
Korean advice, just outplayed him. Didn't work this time though. I'm
what's
impressed
plan
by
B?
Pain Gaming's lane swap.
And in all seriousness, one of the issues that's been highlighted for KOO, excellent mid and late game play, especially macro, but the early game has suffered before, and Pain right now are playing with a lot of vigor and a lot of really intelligent play here in the first 7 minutes.
Let's see what they can do with the early game here, though, because obviously you don't have the longest average game time
For no
coming
reason,
into the
yeah.
tournament here among all teams without a reason. Thing is, though, you know, they're also coming off a 16-0 streak, so...
Smeb is still ahead in experience of Mylon though. We keep praising how it's going ahead and getting out of control. Still level down. And most importantly, Hojin, while this is going on, he's actually out farming Sir T, so he's actually going to get that level 6 early, and if he can find one gank, he can nullify that entire advantage. Smeb right now forcing Mylon's flash. Turbo Gorilla comes in, flash
Good
play.
Now going to try and line things up here. The Gorilla going to keep chasing. Throws out a lance at Hojin. He's going to walk up away. Great hook there, lands on the mile, and that's going to be a kill for sure as Hojin will pick it up.
Great move there by KOO Tigers, and the response from Pain, they don't have a response. They're farming their own jungle right now. They get a couple of deep wards on the side of the map that they already own. So really good move there by KOO to not only get their kill, but also have everybody hop over the dragon wall and
adorable.
take the dragon as well.
They are going to get it here. Pain on the top side, but looks things all back in their base.
Oh,
BRTT
look at that wave.
still pushing, but Smeb says
Look for
thank
that
you very
dive,
much.
maybe.
Yeah, they have to nail this dive. If they don't get this dive, this is
pretty
deciding.
pretty greedy here from KOO.
There's Dragon Smith, great flash out of the headbutt, hops out there, does the do-si-do and gets out easy.
Green advice, Scrapbo, just outplay it.
Stop playing, dude. Soak that experience. Even if you die right now, you soak half wave. You've done your job. Oh, this is sad for Pain Gaming. They had the momentum, they had all the right plays, and then they do exactly what they should. They send their top laner alone with no backup from a tower. Their jungle wasn't even close. Their support wasn't even close. And he drops.
And not just their top laner, Darius, whose big weakness is that he has no dashes. He doesn't even have the option of trying to get the speed boost yet, so...
And really good synergy there from the KOO Tigers though, because what you said earlier about the lack of initiation, Gnar hops in, forces Flash Gorilla, with Moby Boots waits long enough to get a flash play range. Lantern comes in, Hojin joins the party, and suddenly, you know, Darius dies, and Mylon now, he's the one trailing behind.
Certainly is here as Smeb still picking up the CS lead, but a giant spell because he thinks he's a pretty big target here.
Well, also, he may be hungry for more kills, you know, try and make a frozen mallet and look to punish Mylon even more in a long lane. Gnar with Black Cleaver is one thing, but with the frozen mallet, then you're really looking for kills.
I mean, they said that Juggernauts are strong, but all you gotta do is just kite him, and if there's any item that allows you to do that, it is the mallet.
Go straight for the kneecaps with that hammer.
Just take him out as Kami still pushing, doing well in this mid lane actually with a CS lead up against Kuro, using that early Azir power with that stinger to really shove in Ahri.
Yeah, Azir definitely pushes that matchup early. It's when Ahri really gets the higher levels and gets the burst that he can threaten the Azir, but surprising. KOO here going for a very defensive build. Early magic resistance was picked up, so no kill pressure on Kami, which means Kami is safe to continue doing what he's been doing the entire game. Because even if Charm connects, there's just not the damage enough. And now Pain Gaming grouping for that mid lane tower. No way that this can go down.
30 does get nailed by the arrow. Charm will land. KOO's going to go all in. Hojin gets
Denied.
moved out there by Kami, and the Ignite's not enough. Great cleanse from Kami, showing off his skills.
Whoa, everybody collapses there to protect Sir T.
That was pretty well played.
Did someone tell me Kami was good? Did I get that message?
I mean, he could have technically repelled the arrow before he came in, but everything after that was perfectly played. Denies the Lee Sin mid-air, repels the REQ, then Dude steps in to block the Lee Sin Q. Pain Gaming are playing very organized.
Come on, Carlo, that is a very hard repel. That thing is coming from, I don't think anybody's side. Okay, there is a ward in river.
And he pressed
So
E,
if
but
they
I mean,
saw
pressed
it-
by his team, okay?
If they saw it come through the river, yeah. But the thing there, they kind of abandoned him under the turret while he was stunned. Here comes Mylon.
Yes.
No, he's all alone.
Trouble
He
for
does not have
Darius.
flash this time.
Hook will land, plays there as well, and it's just another easy kill. Who's gonna get it? Oh, the heal's good. Might be enough to keep him alive, but probably not as Hojin gets it again.
Yeah, you'd think Mylon would learn. Turbo Gorilla comes in again. You know, those Moe boots really paying off. He doesn't go for the early side zone, does something supports in Korea started doing a lot in Season 4. Moe boots with 2 green wards early and then just move around the map. Get really, really high efficient wards and then use that mobility to make picks, especially against a low mobility top laner like Darius with no flash.
Yeah, so it's interesting how Pain actually played, you know, the early stages of the lane swap, but only up for a couple minutes there. Once all the outer turrets are down, next phase of that is to get up all these defensive wards and vision, because you have no more turrets on the outskirts, and KOO have just been running through Pain territory, taking advantage of it.
I mean, Pain Gaming did not go to Korea to scrim. They went to Europe and scrimmed European challenger teams. So yeah, their playbook from European lane swap only went to play 3, and then it was like, we've got
4 minutes in.
book sanity, boys. What do we do next? And they start crumbling down a little bit, and Mylon is really feeling the pressure from a very organized KOO here. Another arrow coming in.
Oh, Kami is going to juke out of the way. No cleanse, so he will stay safe under his tower. But a nice little, very cute move there from Praise Ash.
All right, all that being said, gold is even right now, and we're even at map control and 2-2 turrets, both mid lane standing. So now they're starting to get a lot better defensive vision after the second kill there. 3 pink wards now down in the blue side jungle for Pain.
A lot of respect though from Kuro with that build. Early Abyssal on Ahri. I feel it's like a mix. You're playing a Pix champion, you're playing an assassin kind of, but you're building it as, you know, control. Make sure you don't die and then provide those charms for CC. So
Pain looking to pressure mid again, and every time they step up to the turret, KOO immediately start to collapse, looking for those Ash arrows.
That's all.
but it's not really costing them too much. BRTT is still even farm with Prey, so even though Prey is going up to suck up that side farm, he's taking a lot, which usually means that your mid lane is falling behind. Because of that early lead that Kami had over Kuro in terms of CS, he is still bang on even. So overall, an even early to mid game.
We'll have to see if that, you know, mid to late game macro can really start kicking in for KOO. It's got a couple minutes until we really get to that stage of the game, and Dragon is coming back 55 seconds as well. KOO, they've already gotten the first one, so can they continue the good thing they've set up here in the early game?
I do expect them to stack it, and ooh, Kami not hit by that charm. Blue minion taking the hit for him.
Still has cleanse available, and he was really quick on that cleanse earlier. When I hooked him in, there was almost no delay there. The Virtues are playing on 8 pink.
Yeah.
All right, well, you mentioned the Dragon. We're already only 30 seconds away, and Pain have not really made any move yet to get their vision down. So, looks like it's gonna be up to...
No instant cleanse this time! Hyojin cleans him out now as the ulti goes out from Thresh. Kuro's gonna get a next kill on just 30 as Dude. He is caught out. The ulti's gonna wear off soon. There's too much chase here. Gets played back there. It's gonna be a third kill.
That was a fantastic engage from KOO Tigers. Yeah, he's quick on the cleanse. If he can see the projectile coming, but he couldn't see that arrow. Immediate follow-up as well. KOO Tigers take 3 kills, 1 mid lane tower, and they can still bounce back to Dragon.
What a shot there from Prey, and Kuro's able to follow up very easily. 100% zero there for Kami. Turret down number 1. Looks like they are going to be able to stick around for turret number 2 and Dragon.
Yeah, and that shows you the value of getting vision before that objective spawns, because obviously you're playing into the dark. Mylon had teleport available, but wasn't even time. He's like, guys, do you need to tell... Ah, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, you really got to respect this Ashe pick. There's a reason that KOO were one of the first to pick it up, and the initiation there from Prey definitely paying off this time. BRTT and the rest of Pain going to try and answer here, though. A quick shove on the mid lane.
And they might be able to get it.
Out of Fake Lantern, the classic.
Yeah, they got a little bit too scared there. Gorilla with the bluff. There's no wave clear on the way. If they had committed to that turret, they could have got it, but...
Yeah, if they were playing with perfect vision, they would definitely commit to the tower. That tower would have been gone, but Gorilla with some smart fresh play there. All you need to do is throw the lantern. Nobody needs to actually click it.
Mylon let him know. Every time Gorilla comes over with a lantern, he's going to be looking for your head. Pain are going to be able to collapse and grab Dragon at least.
Yeah, KOO actually sort of see that objective. Need to go back. Maybe don't feel confident in the position right now to try and fight. And Kuro could get caught, but not just yet.
I mean, Pain Gaming, they are 4,000 gold behind. All they need is one decent fight though to come back, because they scale incredibly well into the later stages of the team fight. Sivir with the AoE does a lot of damage, and having a control mage on such a proficient player as Kami, one of the Zir with cleanse, it is hard for KOO to deal with that once he has vision to really make that cleanse work. If he sees the projectiles coming, he can cleanse out of that, move out. You know, Shurima shuffle his way into a couple of kills, so KOO Tigers, very distinctive lead, but by no means is it over.
Yeah, plus they'll probably be having Alistar on the front lines, or Sivir to spell shield. So they do have a lot of answers for the arrow, as long as it's not, you know, Sir T. Well, even he can repel it if he does see it coming. The key is reaction speed here for all of Pain's
and vision.
And that's the thing I love about the pick from KOO. You mentioned, you know, it was Ashe that they've sort of seen a lot of here, but it's just that tactical advantage. Oh, never mind. Dude actually going to go aggressive, but the rest of KOO's here. Hook does get cleansed off by Unbreakable with a kickback. Cannot be moved off there. Hojin bounces back. Very cute play from the KOO Tigers, and they'll get themselves a kill. The arrow lands on Mylon. He's the next target. He'll flash out of the way. Now Kuro going to keep himself chasing, but Smeb's going to jump all the way in. Might be enough to secure a few more. They dive straight for it.
I don't know, dude saw red right there on Alistar and he was like, Gorilla's here? I'm gonna go flash pull the headbutt you back.
What happened is he said, I'm not gonna be out-bluffed by a Korean support right here. I'm just gonna go in and fake aggression. But if you looked at the minimap, his AD carry was in Fountain. His mid laner was at his Nexus tower to make that bold of a move against a team that has been grouping so much this game. Great bold move. Let's watch this again. Keep your eye on the minimap.
There's no payoff to calling this bluff.
Like where BRTT is at his tier 1 tower, he is now basing mid lane. Azir is in full vision clearing waves.
Literally,
why is the going in?
The only way that play works for Pain is if Gorilla is all by himself and he's actually isolated.
Well, bluff call didn't work out that time. That's good cleanup here from KOO. Pain in the picture-in-picture, though, did scoop up the turret in mid lane finally, so gonna even things up a little bit here.
And we're starting to learn why Pain Gaming's games go so long, because even if they have the right plays in the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they do make these mistakes that top-level teams should not be making, rash decision-making. They play with a lot of passion as well. If you watch them, you know, at events, there's so much, you know, shouting and camaraderie coming out of BRTT, but sometimes it's better to prevail and have a cool head coming into the game, especially against such a methodical team like KOO Tigers.
I think in that sense it's a really cool matchup as far as, you know, personalities of the teams go. But
are we making puns?
Right now, KOO have really got it. They actually are going to pull the trigger. Ulti does miss BRT2. A flash at the blue buff just barely misses as Dio doesn't get arrowed either. KOO trying to start something here. Pain, though, really just want their blue buff.
They're peeled off the mid wave. We have to see if BRTT can take this down. Yeah. Not pushing on.
Ooh.
Baron hasn't even spawned yet. They're playing the Baron vision game already, and it's not even up yet, so you have to wait until 20 minutes. That blue buff gets smited away by Hojin.
Yep, does get it. Smeb actually chasing here. Does have that frozen mallet, like you mentioned. Hook will be just a little wide as Surti jukes himself out of the way. Kuro going in, out of the BRTT, but Mylon's going to pick him up. BRTT will tie there to pray as he flashes over, and KOO, no Baron just yet, but they do get themselves a kill.
Full commitment on that one as well. 80 carry flash going in there.
Yeah, this game has been played on like one lane at a time here for the last 5 minutes. No split pushing going on, no double lane push, just single jungle control, fight over bush, one wave, and that plays into the hand of the KOO Tigers. So much CC, especially when they're ahead. If this game was even, maybe you can make a case for the amount of damage and control coming out, but Pain Gaming consistently on the back foot. They've never really engaged the fight themselves first because they're constantly getting engaged on by KOO Tigers.
Has not wasted a second of the cooldown on his enchanted crystal arrow here for Ashe. Constantly looking for the engages. And Gorilla as well on the front line with the roams. play after play being set up.
And these early game items, they don't scale that well. You know, an Abyssal Scepter doesn't scale that well later on, but if you can combine that with an early Morellonomicon to keep using that, the benefits that you get of that item very early in the game, and obviously you can just snowball yourself ahead and make use of it, especially if you look at Prey right now too. Already finished Static Shift, I-Edge combo, 2 items in 20 minutes already.
Abyssal is an incredibly gold efficient item. The only thing when it doesn't scale is when you run out of slots.
Yeah.
Because it is also a fairly cheap item. So once you get to the point where you have to sell it, then he'll start worrying about it.
Combined with Sword Shoes as well, he's going to be reducing nearly all of the magic resistance that the squishier members of Pain Gaming are picking up here. So
yeah, there doesn't look to be an Aegis in sight here for Pain.
And as a result, it's been accurate reports, honestly, here about the KOO Tigers. Strong mid-game, maybe a little few missteps here and there in the early game. Pain were able to take it in the first 5 minutes or so, but almost 21 minutes in, Baron alive, Dragon up in 30, and the KOO have set up for objectives. Prey, he's looking for a Fisher. He might have got BRTT, but instead he'll just push out the wave.
And look at the vision control. Baron area completely dark, so all KOO need to do is add 2 more wards to that already existing initial ward line, and then Pain Gaming, they don't have Hawkshot on their team. They have to face multiple brushes or risk instead of going against early 22, 23 minute Baron from KOO Tigers, which seals the game.
Yeah, you can see during that Fog of War toggle right there how scary it is to be on Pain right now and know that you're playing against a team with the Moby, Boots, Thresh, and an Ashe. But they're going to try and defend
So
red
aggressive.
here.
Oh my god, the hook
Really?
lands 13. He's going to get charmed up there. They'll take him out almost instantly. And now Mylon could be in a bit of trouble. He does spin around. Gorilla will get dunked as Kami collects the kill. Smed, though, hops over to the Krugs. He's looking for the wraparound. Ulti! Runs all the way over as Ari does get the double. Make it a triple. Might even be more. Looking for the Quadra Kuro. No, not going to get it onto BRTT.
As long as that Lee Sin Q was, he actually died to the red buff burn that Kuro had anyway, so Hojin didn't even get to connect.
Couldn't make it in time for the damage.
Just in case there was an additional potion out, anything.
He traveled all that way for no payoff.
And Akuro, unfortunately, will miss his potential Penta as KOO pick up another nice fight. Prey is going to shove out this lane. Look to threaten another turret. Dragon back up also. KOO already have it.
Yeah, if the goal was even, that could have been a good fight because there was a good Emperor's Divide there from Kami, but Pain Gaming just too far behind, just initial damage. And you look, zero hesitation on KOO Tigers too. One CC lands, the next one connects. 13 didn't even have time to repel at all there.
Gorilla's waiting for it the whole time here. He was just sitting in the brush behind red, waiting for Serti to walk up. Easy hook for him to land, and they get the initiative. There's the Emperor's Divide that you're talking about, and Mylon was able to get the execute, but it's really Kuro. Goes right back in for that.
Kami also failed his cleanse. He expected the charm to be there sooner, cleanse early, and then got hit by the charm. That really turned the tides of that fight. Kuro almost picked up the quarter kill there, and now spiraling out of control. KOO's vision is still, actually no, has been swept out for the majority. Pain Gaming did buy themselves some time by getting some wards in that Baron, but they shouldn't last all that long.
Yeah, even getting wards on the Baron right now, it's still so risky for them to try and walk through their own jungle up towards the Baron.
As you can see, things getting a little tricky here for Pain Gaming. We've got 2 items on Kami in the mid lane, but KOO have got 2 pretty much everywhere, and no one on Pain really has the second item completed. 6,000 gold ahead for the team. They'll sweep out the crab to get vision around that Baron.
Yeah, Prey picking up early Alacrity boots as well. Wants to stay, be able to kite and just peel backwards in fights, get in a prime sniper position to land one extra arrow. His arrows have been fantastic this game. Usually when I see Ashe played, I'm left with a very wanting feeling. I'm not really get satisfied in my Ashe needs overall because it really isn't that great, but his arrows have been fantastic. Yet another one. Now
Nice
finally
spell shield.
gets a little cocky. It's like, I can snipe Tiver.
And look at BRTT flashing that flare. Prey's been spamming it, I believe, in game. So nice to see them give a little back. But KOO, very standard stuff for them. Going to set up here almost 25 minutes into the game, 24 in fact, and it's just dance around Baron. Dragon's not up, so hey, Pain, come to us if you feel like fighting. Otherwise, they're just going to take the Baron and close out the mid-games as cleanly as KOO has done so many times in the LCK.
There you go, Cyril gets popped.
Oh,
Connects to
Gorilla does get cocooned up there. Damage on the side. Hojin kicks BRTT back in, and he is going to go down as prey. Now on a killing spree, dude, getting chased down. Smeb's going to get that kill. No kills just yet as Gorilla is low. Kuro will keep chasing. Good shuffle out there from Kami. Gets up from under the charmer. Hojin chasing. Hook does land. Hojin taking the Sunto, but he will not die. And it looks to be an AC. The last kill will go to Smeb.
I was actually very confused with Dude not popping his Alistar ultimate. You lose out on so much zone control in a team fight. This is basically what Alistar brings to the mid game. A whole part of his huge zoning is popping the ulti.
Yeah, if he just pressed R at any given point during that fight, he could have just stayed alive, sucked it down. This could have easily been a 1-for-0 trade here on the side of KOO Tigers, and PNG Gaming could have escaped with at least 1 or 2 members if the Dude pressed ulti. So very, very peculiar. Not sure what exactly happened there. In the end, doesn't really matter all that much. KOO Tigers pick up the Baron there now. 11k ahead. 5 dragons has been thwarted, 2, so there's no really that win condition anymore because the game is spiraling too quickly out of control for PNG Gaming. Very, very tall task right now.
All right, let's take another look here, because Surti actually got the flash cocoon off.
Right now?
He was
Right now?
chained. Yeah.
Anytime? Right now?
At this point, though, they're already on the run, right? And KOO's already got the re-engage. Skuro has another charge left, so...
Now look at Gorilla, how low he goes in that fight. He was the one being initially aggressive, but he lands another hook at the end. Almost gets taken out there by Kami, but he's been playing very, very well. 0-1-14, no mishaps, no accidental kills ending up in his lap. Noah will be disappointed.
He will. The Bloodthirst not strong with Gorilla today, but a wonderfully executed team fight from KOO Tigers, and the Baron buff leads them with almost all the advantages they should need to close this game out. We've heard about how efficient they are in the mid-game, how quickly they clean you off the Rift.
Yeah, an odd Kuro call right here to go for split pushing and then looking for a solo kill inside the red area. Pain do have a little bit of defensive warding there, so they saw him, but whatever. He's got Baron buff. He can pull off a split push.
I mean, I like the attempt from Pain to pop the Sivir ult and try and force the 4v5. Arrow hits on the Dude. Nice cleanse off. Find the ulti button.
That's really a big lessons the PNG Gaming's teamfight strength, and they're about to get 1-3-1. There is no counterplay for them because they're locked in. It's really hard to move out of that. Smeb is in top, Kuro in the bottom. Perfect vision, Hawk shot. So many options here for the KOO Tigers.
So Kuro is a little bit wary right now. He's not staying at the turret because he has no vision for himself.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually have any wards he can play, so he's waiting to see the rest of the team. Didn't want to take any chances.
Another siege going to get set up. We talked about the 1-3-1 before. It's a bit more like a 4-1 now, but Kuro with that Luden's Echo just continually applying pressure does really shove mini waves out fast with this build with all those purple items. And Pain just have to sit and hope something happens good for them.
Yeah, and obviously KOO Tigers here, they just want to close as efficiently as they can. Don't want to make any mistakes like getting caught here by Kami, for example.
Tried to make the play, but he didn't quite get it. The flashes are burned. Gorilla getting low. Rylai's is good for a few slows here.
So Kami actually forced the double summoners out of Prey with that move. It was a really good flash there from Prey to stay alive, but Kami traded flash there to try and get the initiation.
And he knows he has to make plays here. Kami is the big player on this team. We expected him to really deliver, and he has in this game, but it's just a little too tough.
Not sure why the KOO Tigers stopped split pushing. They had PNG Gaming in a perfect lock in a 1-3-1, but they decided to make it a group around that top lane tower. Kuro could have easily pushed about one member away and then maybe moved on. So KOO felt safer in numbers. That is the way they got ahead in the early to mid game though. So with that stack CC, but if you look at Kuro's build, he's really built for that 1v1 right now because that Abyssal still paying off, the Sword Shield is still paying off, Ludens, that initial proc just doesn't add some extra damage, so a lot of mobility overall. So if you find Kuro alone in the brush, probably not the best thing for you.
No, not a good time here, but like you mentioned, build, an interesting build, because Smeb, we talked about the KOO Tigers being innovators with strategies. This may be Smeb's attempt.
He didn't get to play a Juggernaut, but he can buy
He certainly can.
Build your Juggernaut composition. Yep.
He's certainly doing some nice damage here, Smeb. Cut the Vex's felt in as well, so things working out one way or the other here for KOO as they take Dragon number 3. Probably not going to need the 5th, but always good to have it.
Feels like a stake item to me. You just absorb as much damage as you can and suddenly you come back stronger.
Yeah, I'm really not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of Sterix Gauge. It's just the item by itself is extremely gold inefficient. You really have to make use of the passive, and a lot of the usefulness of the item comes from one of the Juggernauts kit where they had these full AD ratios, which actually get boosted extra, or if you have a Trinity Force, where he doesn't really have either, but he can do whatever he wants right now. So
It does reward you for taking damage.
sure.
That's been spent this game.
Yeah, you can deal more damage if you take more damage.
Pretty annoying one way or the other. Mylon not having a nice time there, 1v1, as they're going to shove in 4-1 once again here. Baron Buff has dropped. No major objectives on the map just now, but KOO have an absolutely insane gold lead in under 30 minutes. And again, just looking to close things up. They've done this time and time again. They're such a practiced team. And when they get ahead, better believe they stay ahead.
Yeah, they do stay ahead because they play with the necessary caution. No overstepping of their boundaries here with respect. So if they don't get too many towers or any inhibitor, they don't really care because the map is completely under their control. Pain Gaming don't even remember what the river looks like. They haven't been even outside of their base in the last 5 to 10 minutes, it feels. So Gorilla forcing the cleanse there. Slowly but surely, whittling away. Now we see an engage.
Oh, Smeb! That one through a spell shield, tried to go in onto BRTT, but Hojin gonna dive in! KOO just going absolutely nuts as Kuro is gonna get that first kill. Gorilla is low there, Kami trying to ditch out the deep, but it's carnage here in the base as Pain Gaming are just too far behind. The ace will be completed and that may just be game.
Slow and steady and immediately explosion. KOO Tigers ace for 1 in return. Gorilla drops his second death of the game and a look at the closeout.
They are going to finish things off here. It is business as usual for the KOO Tigers as they play their first game here in Paris. Early game was a whole lot of fun, but KOO showing where they are such a strong team that must be feared in this World Championship.
The vision control game of KOO, the playmaking there from Gorilla, the accuracy of the arrows from Prey, even though some of them were spell shielded or cleansed, he's still... I don't think he whiffed a single one.
Yeah, I mean, look at the lineup. If you have to play Ashe into it, at least that can repel Kami on a Zir that can shuffle or cleanse. You have Spell Shield and you have Alistar. That seems like Ashe's nightmare, but still he found multiple openings. Even though the early game with that level 1 first blood was relatively easy, or even rather, the speed at which KOO Tigers propelled forward. They ended the game 20,000 gold ahead, 61k against 41k. That is a massive gold lead, and you would not expect that if you watched the first 15 minutes of this game. So, very impressive performance.
And an efficient game as well. 31 minutes for the KOO Tigers, cleaning up as many times as they have in the LCK. They've been such a consistent team. Unfortunately for them, not too many first place, unless you count the regular season standings, but they've been just such a strong team ever since they were created. The level of consistency they show is reflected in their play, and for an opening game here, I'm very impressed.
Yeah, and even though KOO Tigers were the big favorites in this game, they still, have pressure on their shoulders because of the showing that they had at the last international tournament, at IEM. They do not want to make any sort of missteps, even in games where they're the favorites here. So being able to finish out cleanly like that and playmaking is definitely something that they're looking to accomplish.
Yeah, and a win is expected here by the Tigers, but in a convincing fashion that may draw potential bans in the next series, against CLG and the Flash Wolves. Those are the games these guys are preparing for the most, so may not have even showed any of their fancy tricks that they have, because they have incredibly deep champion pools. I mean, Smeb and KOO, those are players you will never be able to ban out. They will always have a trick up their sleeves, whether it's cheeky Malphite or whatever. So we'll definitely have to see what they do against the likes of CLG and Flash Wolves.
Things keeping standard at least for today. And that's, I think, the last thing we heard from the analyst desk is that, Monty sort of predicted they don't have to play anything crazy, and they didn't. They still finished the game in the same very efficient, very clean manner they always have.
Yeah, I mean, they've played all those champions before, so no big surprises.
Not yet. I'm sure it's coming. If Amazing J is going to be hovering Garen, I'm sure the KOO Tigers have something really fun cooked up.
Yeah, I mean, the one story that does come to mind is often in the LCK, Gorilla likes to hover Soraka. We haven't seen her here yet, and they always joke about, oh yeah, he loves the champion, but he's never picked it.
I think Soraka from like a stat carry on is incredibly efficient. The amount of health you can, transfer so efficiently. It just happens that a lot of Soraka players like getting caught, and once she drops, it becomes hard. Hey, I'd love to see some Gorilla, positioning play on Soraka.
Last year he brought Janna. This year, okay.
Well,
Snooze fest.
We'll see about Soraka later, gentlemen, but let's send it back over to the analyst desk to wrap up day one of the 2015 World Championship.
Thank you, gentlemen. And I want to touch on what Krepo was hitting pretty soon after the game ended there. The first 15 minutes of this game was really close. And I want to point towards the solid macro play of Pain Gaming because we had some questions about, coming from the international wildcard regions up into this international play, especially playing against a team like the KOO Tigers, and they put up some really solid play there in the early stages of the match.
Yeah, they played out the situation after level 1 very well, and some people were down on Pain coming into this. They didn't show the best play in the CB LOL finals, even though they won 3-0. But when they came around and came into that international wildcard match, it really looked like they had leveled up their macro game in a very short amount of time. So I guess I had a little bit more faith in them. I like their use of double teleport in those matches. So this is something that I think is a good trend for a team like Pain Gaming, even though they couldn't close this one out.
I have to add, I expected very little from Pain Gaming, and with this game in mind, I think the early game was very good, as you mentioned, and I think for COG and Flash Fools, I would be those games are going to be a lot closer than I expected. So it's going to be an interesting group.
I'm going to return to that point in a little bit to look at the group as a whole, but hammering home, this game here, it was relatively close until a certain point. We started to see KOO make some moves to really separate the game. Monty, who was the standout player here that was the catalyst for that from KOO?
Well, it's always the same player in the early game if we're talking about starting to pick up the snowball for the KOO Tigers, and that's going to be Gorilla, because in the laning phase, they always make plays around Gorilla. He moves very efficiently on the map, and we can take a look at some of this just very, very good Thresh play we're seeing right here, and he is the catalyst that causes this reaction to occur in the KOO Tigers, which then results in a very strong mid and late game.
Yeah, just a lot of presence around the map, really, and presence of mind. When they did start in the hole, about 500-600 gold right off that level 1 to really make the plays around the map necessary. And this
just
play here.
A gorgeous arrow and then setting it up, and they chained the hook into the charm so well. KOO's team fighting is a major strength of theirs. And, really, this is just a classic KOO Tigers game. There's a problem in the early game. Maybe they fall behind a little bit. Then Gorilla starts getting free on the map, starting to make plays. They pick up a few kills, and then it just chains into great team fighting, fantastic vision control, and fantastic objective control, and then they win decisively from there.
All right, Crumbs, I want to come to you to kind of re-hit the Pain Gaming point, because as we established, they did have some solid macro play, but if you had to point a weakness, where did that fall apart for them?
A lot of times when teams are trying to learn how to perfect their macro play, they will overcommit resources to make sure that the play happens. So an example was the TP play in the early game where they went to dive the Lee Sin and the Gnar. They were only able to get 1 kill, but they wasted the teleport. And a lot of mistakes like that are usually the trend for teams that are learning, and that happened, but it's a good sign that they're really understanding what they need to do, but they just need to refine it a little bit better. But one thing that we talked about the KOO Tigers that's pretty cool is that they played a very similar style to what KT plays, in which the jungle and the support roam a lot together. The kill participation between Hojin and Gorilla were 100% for the large majority of the game, and that's something that we really see from KT. So I think tomorrow we'll see very similar trends also throughout the tournament of KT style and KOO Tigers just kind of mixing each other, because it's very likely that they were common scrim partners throughout the entirety of the preparation of the tournament.
Something I would like to touch on is once again the Darius. We've seen Darius a lot today and in this game as well. And this might sound very bold, but I think when it comes to Darius, his strengths are absurd, that's for sure. But his weaknesses are very obvious as well. He's very weak against range, he's very weak against kiting as well. And I think KOO showed it in the draft. It wasn't really necessarily needed because they kind of outplayed Pain, but I think Darius has very obvious weaknesses, and I think that's going to show as we prolong this tournament.
Well, in that highlight right there, we saw him exploited as well with his lack of escape, as Gorilla was able to find early kills to pull them back into it.
Though the champion has weaknesses, I think today is not a good showcase of the champion, because no team today that had Darius played to the strengths of the hero. Nobody helped him effectively. Nobody was really doing anything with the champion. You want to pair him with a diving champion that you can just permanently push in the lane and tower dive over and over and over.
But then again, it's like Darius, he's been blind picked. That is where I find the dangerous thing. He's been blind picked. He has very obvious weaknesses. It's been exposed with the Gnar, and I think it's going to continue like that. I think Darius is very strong in scenarios where you have to walk into him, but not when you have to kind of engage, because he just gets kited.
Well, that's why you tower dive, though. You pair him with a tower diver, and that's it.
We'll see.
Well, as the tournament develops, it'll be interesting to track that as teams either pick him later, earlier, and what and how they use him. Now, what I do want to return to is your point about, CLG and Flash Wolves and how they might stack up now that we've seen the 4 teams in this group play, particularly when we take a look at Pain Gaming and we say, well, if they play as they did in the early game there against, CLG and Flash Wolves, who weren't able to do as much in their early game, that could definitely swing those games.
I think that's true. We do have to remember that level 1 did occur, right? So there was a little bit of an outlier right there because KOO made some errors. Pain did a good job of capitalizing on them and getting a little bit of an early advantage. So I want to see Pain when they don't win a level 1 like that, right? Because that's going to tell us a lot.
All right, well, we'll have to track that as well. Let's track, too, the standings, though, to check how the standings and the teams are arranged. In Group A, CLG and the KOO Tigers are 1-0, with the Flash Wolves and Pain Gaming still looking for their first win. Then in Group B, Fnatic and Cloud9 are on top 1-0 over Invictus Gaming and AHQ. And in Group C, Edward Gaming and SK Telecom stand tall 1-0 over H2K and the Bangkok Titans. Now we'll be back tomorrow with another 6 games as the teams continue their march towards the Summoners Cup. It starts with KT Rolster against Team Solo Mid. Then China's #1 seed LGD will face off against Europe's Origin. After that, the Bangkok Titans will challenge the Season 3 world champions SK Telecom. All that will hit your streams tomorrow at 7 a.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Central European Summertime. Now that we've gotten a look at some of the teams today, though, guys, what are you excited about tomorrow, matchup-wise, team-wise?
Group D, absolutely. The group that we haven't seen yet, the one that has a lot more fan hype around it. And, the teams are all kind of not really expecting that much out of themselves. We saw earlier today with the video that LGD isn't even sure they're going to make it out of the group themselves, which is like, why would they even know? I mean, they even said that themselves.
I think that's just a little humility there.
Yeah, but still, though, it's something to look forward to.
And Darius, of course.
Oh, of course.
We're looking for just a lot of Darius to see how he's played.
Yeah, but obviously it's Group T. I think there is no game in Group T that is going to be boring in a way,
I don't know. That first one's going to be pretty boring.
We're going to brush that one out, no problem. All right, well, that's fair. That's fair. Are there specific champions that we haven't seen come out today that we're still looking for that we may have expected to have seen earlier in the tournament?
More is Fiora, I mean. Fiora, we saw just how ridiculous it was in the hands of Marin. I mean, he practically one-shot out LeBlanc 100-0. The only reason he wasn't able to was because of the passive. That is a lot of damage that teams should be taking advantage of because Lulu has seen some play. Most likely we'll see more play throughout the tournament. It probably won't be permaban. You couple those 2 champions together, you're guaranteed to get the Fiora ultimate off because of the CC around her, the tankiness that she gets, and it's just such a powerful team fighting combination that I feel like the teams aren't taking advantage because of the weaknesses that Fiora may have in the laning phase.
Monty, thoughts?
We've seen the Yasuo bans. I want to see the Yasuo picks coming in because we've got some great Yasuo players both in top lane and in mid lane in this particular tournament. It's going to show up at some point, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
It's like today we've had very blue side dominated games, and of course they get to that one power pick. What I want to see teams do is to kind of do trades where they get the 2 power picks on the purple side where kind of everything OP gets unleashed. I want to see those type of games.
Well, plenty of evolution for picks and bans to go through. Now, if you missed any of the action today, stick around because in just 15 minutes, Shox, Freak, and Officio will be breaking down the highlights from the day. Now, for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Solid for
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get back onto the Rift. Well, game 1 of the group stages in Le Dark, Pullman. They turn their focus to Kakao. There's the team fight. Onslaught of Shadows throws IG's backline. Zatai's forced to retreat. That's a defensive flash. Emperor's Divide will not pin Kakao to the wall. It's a battle on 3 fronts, and it's a battle that Fnatic is winning. And the hometown heroes strike first blood.
Wizard, fist, last hit. Nice. Come back. This guy? He's done? Yeah, come here. F, ulti, 13. Pretty well. Come back. Super low.
The mountain's jumped in, but he's down. It's Balls that takes him out. Ziv got stunned by the event horizon. He's forced to flash away.
What an upset in this group stage.
Goes out, not gonna fly slow. Wow, more. Just eviscerated.
Beautiful play.
Double. Yeah,
What an outplay.
SKT are on the board, 1-0 in the group stages.
Not allowed to give up. You cannot say, I hate this game if the game is 1-5. No tilting allowed.
Here comes the dive play, back there, Warlock getting low, Mako, he's in trouble, he flashes out, but Death, he's gonna get first blood, that's a double kill! PNG in style take their first game here in Paris. Good play there, gets the combo of Mabel, dumped his way back in, he wants double, he pops Azonius, has to run out, he's so tanky with a help, but Kramer gets Cocoon, who gets shut down, but Blaze has gone down.
What a comeback right there.
Milk! Nice! Pops over to the Crux, he's looking for the wraparound. Business as usual as they play their first game here in Paris.